The Snake and the Farmer. A lesson in gratitude. Once upon a time in a village at the foot of a mountain, there lived a poor farmer. He was so poor that he didn't even have enough money to buy proper clothes for himself or food for his family. One day, the farmer decided to go up the mountain to see if he could find some wild herbs that he could sell in the market to earn some money. As he climbed higher and higher, he came across a small cave. And as he went inside, he saw a golden snake curled up in the corner. The snake was so beautiful that the farmer couldn't help but reach out and touch it. But as soon as he did, the snake opened its eyes and hissed at him. "If I let you live," said the snake, "you must grant me one wish." The farmer thought for a moment. "Well, this is all just a dream anyway, so why not?" And with that, the farmer returned home, completely forgetting about the snake and his promise. In the morning, the farmer woke up feeling happy and excited for the day ahead. But then he remembered his promise to the snake and rushed back up the mountain. "What do you want?" he asked. "I wish to be set free," replied the snake. So the farmer carefully picked up the snake and carried it down the mountain. All the way down, the villagers saw them and started to shout, "Look! Look! The farmer has captured a venomous snake. He's going to sell it to the circus or something." The farmer ignored them and kept walking until he reached a wide river. Then he put the snake on a rock in the middle of the river and said, "Here you can swim around and be free." The snake swam vigorously for a few moments before disappearing beneath the water. Every day after that, the farmer would go down to the river to see how the snake was doing. At first, the snake would come up to greet him, but then it stopped doing so. And after a while, the farmer stopped visiting altogether. One day, the farmer was working in his fields when he heard a commotion coming from the direction of the river. He looked up and saw a large crowd running toward his village. As they got closer, he could hear them shouting, the bridge has collapsed. Someone must have destroyed it in the night." The farmer immediately knew what had happened. The snake had probably gotten caught up in the collapse and was now seeking revenge. Angry and scared, the farmer grabbed his hoe and ran to warn the villagers. When they arrived at the river, they saw the snake lying on the ground, hissing and foaming at the mouth. It had been bitten by a scorpion and was now dying. You see, the snake had bitten several villagers, and they were afraid it might bite them again, explained one of them. "We wanted to kill it, but you told us it wasn't venomous, so we didn't know what to do." The farmer felt terrible. He hadn't meant to put the villagers in danger, but he also couldn't bear the thought of the snake dying. Quickly, he stepped forward and scooped up the serpent. Then he carried it to his house and laid it on his bed. For the next few days, the farmer took care of the snake as best he could. He fed it mice and kept its wounds clean. And slowly but surely, the snake began to recover. One evening, the farmer was sitting by the window when he heard a knock at the door. He opened it to find a man dressed in robes. "Greetings," said the man. "My name is Arian. I am a seeker of wisdom, and I have come to ask for your help." The farmer frowned. "What do you want?" "I have heard that you have taken good care of my son," replied Arian. "May I come in and see him?" "Oh, sure," stammered the farmer, stepping aside to let Arian enter. Once inside, Arian went straight to the bed and knelt beside the snake. "Thank you for taking care of him," he said softly. "He is very lucky to have found you." The farmer couldn't believe his ears. Could this be the same snake? He had rescued it from the river, and now Arian was thanking him. Surely it wasn't a snake at all, but some kind of magical creature. "But, sir," said the farmer hesitantly, I don't understand. Is this really your son?" Arian turned to him and smiled. "Yes, it is. Long ago I made a deal with the Lord of the Mountain to keep his son safe. In return, I would receive one wish. When the time came, I asked for his son to be born as a human child. I love my son very much, but he can sometimes be impulsive and reckless. When he was bitten by a scorpion, he should have known better than to come after me. I only hope that he will learn from this experience and be more careful in the future." With that, Arian stood up and bowed to the farmer. "You have done an excellent deed today. As a reward, I will grant you one wish." The farmer was overjoyed. He had already received so much from the snake, he didn't feel right asking for anything more. "I'm sorry," he said, "but I'm afraid I can't accept your offer." Arian looked at him in surprise. "Why is that?" "Because I believe that the greatest reward is the chance to do good. By taking care of your son, I didn't think of myself as performing an act of charity, but rather as simply doing what needed to be done. If everyone could remember this, the world would be a much better place." Arian smiled warmly. "You are right. Your wisdom and kindness have impressed me greatly. Tell me, what is it that troubles you the most?" The farmer hesitated for a moment before answering. "It is the fact that I am so poor. I work hard from sunrise to sunset, but I still can't afford food for my family. If I could just have enough land to grow crops, I believe we would never go hungry again." "Very well," said Arian. "Your wish is my command." And with that, Arian waved his magic wand. Suddenly, the walls of the house began to glow, and when they faded away, the farmer couldn't believe his eyes. Where there had been a small hut before, there was now a large, beautiful house. It had high ceilings and large windows, and outside there was a vast field full of ripe crops. "This is incredible," whispered the farmer. "But I don't understand. How can this be?" "Your house was built on top of a vein of magic," explained Arian. "As long as you remain pure of heart, the magic will continue to flow through your home and provide for you and your family. Now, if you will excuse me, I must be on my way." And with that, Arian turned and walked away. The farmer watched him go, his mind racing. What had just happened? How could he ever repay the snake? He looked around at the luxurious house and fields of food, and a smile slowly spread across his face. He had everything he could ever want. A few weeks later, the farmer was walking through the village when he heard someone calling his name. He turned to see a group of children running toward him, their eyes shining with excitement. "Come, come," they shouted. "Let's go play by the river." The farmer smiled and joined the children. As they played, one of the boys asked, "How did you become friends with the great serpent?" The farmer stopped and looked at the children. "Great serpent?" he asked. "Yes, the one who lives in your house," replied the boy. "They say it's huge and powerful and can grant wishes." The farmer shook his head. "That's just a silly story," he said. "There is no great serpent in my house." The children looked at him in disbelief. But how could you have become so rich if there isn't a great serpent?" The farmer thought for a moment. "Well, I guess it doesn't really matter," he said finally. "All that matters is that we are friends." The children nodded, still unsure but happy to have the farmer as their friend. As they continued playing, the farmer couldn't help but feel grateful for everything he had. He had a loving family, a beautiful house, and all the food he could eat. What more could he ask for? From that day on, the farmer lived a simple life. He spent his days farming and his nights with his family, and though he never saw the snake again, he knew that it was always with him in spirit. He had learned a valuable lesson about gratitude and the importance of helping others, and he knew that as long as he remembered this lesson, he would never truly be alone. The end. So, friends, the real wealth of a person does not lie in his bank balance, but in his good deeds and the love he receives from others. Now, if you like this story, please hit the like button below and do share it with your family and friends. And for more such wonderful stories, do subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching and do take care.